losses that they've had ama hata maumivu ambayo watu ambao wamepigwa risasi are facing. So I want to thank you all who are in the space and otherwise. And then number two, I want to also acknowledge the anger that people have, right? That following the third state address by the president, the interview, you should be very, very mad. Kwa sababu if you're not mad and you're in this space, but you're in the wrong demographic, and it's okay to be mad like that. But I want to position my statement based on the topic of today, which is which way Kenya. And I want to give two ways forward. Again, we're having a discussion. We're not yelling at anybody or telling people what to do. My cohort does not matter. We're just having a discussion as a group. So I'm going to number them so that ukikuja hapo kusema Dr. James nimesema nini na what I said. Number one, I think that in terms of sustainability, we have to harness this energy ambayo tuko nayo sasa hivi tuendelee sana kuangalia 2027. Now, again, if it's going to be ousted right now, that's okay. In fact, that's the immediate effect. But also remember that he will fight back. As you've seen in the streets today, he will fight back, and he is fighting back. So then we have to really mobilize people to register to vote. We have to keep the fire burning. And really, where I want us to emphasize really is how then can we identify the good leaders, okay? How can we identify the people who like to actually represent the Kenyans and the cries and the plights of the Kenyans, right? Maybe one way is to co-create manifestos with these good leaders. Kama kina Kigame ambao walikuwa hapa na Kivuda pia alikuwa hapa hivi. So how can we bring such people who we think or we assume are good leaders and co-create manifestos with them that will actually acknowledge the biggest population in Kenya, which is the youth? How do we then vote corrupt leaders out? Tutumie kura yetu kuwatoa nje. Okay, do not ignore the red flags. Tulijua Ruto ni mtu mwenye ameitwa hata na the biggest international crime organization hapo hivi duniani, lakini tuliignore tu, watu wengine wakampigia kura. So we must refrain from that. And I want us to really target and recruit people who are still in school, that is high schoolers, watu wako form 2, form 3, form 4 na wazazi wetu. This is the time when we actually have the ears of the wazazi, kwa sababu hawa wanaona vile tumefinyiwa, right? So this is the time that we can actually recruit them. Waache hii ujinga ya mtoto wetu, mtoto ya kabila yetu, mimi kama ni Mkikuyu napiga tu Mkikuyu. No. This is the time that they actually have, they're seeing it finally. My point number two, focus and pay attention to how the new IEBC will be constituted. This means that we have to really participate. Even if we don't participate during this time, lazima to participate the same way when the new one will be constituted. That means that the bias that they normally put within the positions has to be called out. Has to be called out. This is just my mind running right now. And this is how we have to do it. So basically, you have to remember that Raila was fighting against corrupt election systems. That is what we have to focus on in terms of number two. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana Dr. James, na very key points there by the way. On civic education, mimi nilijiambia hapo hivyo we will dive deep and we are organizing something with experts. So it is coming, but keep the momentum coming in. I'm going to the last speaker in this batch before I accept the next one, Dr. Ketch. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, good. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go ahead. 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the host, for giving this chance to speak. And I want to start by sending my condolences to the fallen heroes and the families. May they have comfort during this hard time. Then second, let us remain leaderless, tribeless, like that. Led to many of such movement falling is having a leader who normally goes to the table and being bought. Let's not buy that idea of dialogue. It's not there, and we have to keep on pushing. Currently, I can say government, in quotes, are paying goons to join the peaceful demonstrations, and this has led to the chaotic maandamano that we have witnessed today. So, just as other speakers have said, we need to change the tactics and see what to do. Another thing also, I've also witnessed there is various people having hashtags supporting the dictator or the one whom we are trying to send home. We have online soldiers. Let's keep our hashtags burning and running so that we overrun them, so that again, the outside world can also understand what's going on. So let's keep on tweeting. For those who are online, keep on tweeting and using the hashtags Ruto must go, Ruto must resign, and so on and so on. Another way forward, we can use boycotts, and boycotts can also help us to maneuver around because these people are now using tactics which are so many. And again, the last part, or what I wanted to say last, let's register. Let's mobilize the GenZs, the millennials, to register as voters so that when time comes, if we don't push Ruto to go home now, but I know we will manage to push him home, we have votes to speak. This vote will help us even at the world level. We have our leaders who are not working completely, but they're sitting pretty well up there. So we need to have registered voters so that when time comes, we send those whom don't want home, and we bring up leaders who can speak for us and who can also champion the demands of the public. Otherwise, I'm grateful, and that is what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for keeping time. You are almost at the timer. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us right now, this is Home Run with Pipi. Pipi, kabla niendelee kuongea, cheza jingle.
Yo, what's up? Baby, let's go. You're listening to Home Run with Pipi. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay. Asanteni sana.
Kuna
Welcome to the
Wanyama,
space.
nilikuwa nakuulizaje, mtu akikutumia pesa alafu reverse anamaanisha nini?
Namaanisha kwa sure kana atakutumia.
Mtu amenitip alafu akaona huyu jamani fara aka withdraw, naona tu dear Anthony we have reversed your cabbage. Anyway, ni sawa tu.
So to keep it rolling, karibuni sana to the space. This is an open mic session. It doesn't matter the number of followers that you have, be it 10, be it 5, be it 3. Please request the mic. We'll be giving people only 3 minutes. It's enough to keep it rolling. Come share which way Kenya. Remember to follow the host, that is Pipita. Follow my handle as well. That is Wanyama Wafula. I'm the co-host, and Ayo as well. Nataka nianze na huyu mtu wa kwanza. Anaitwa Six. Have you found a therapist?
Ngoja before therapist aongee.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Before therapist aongee, therapist ulikuwa naye tao leo. But anyway, before therapist aongee, I want you guys to understand one thing, yeah? We have come here to share our 2 cents. And we are using this space to spread positivity. And we're using this space not to spread hate. So I've seen a few DMs, watu wanani DM wakinitukana. Ni sawa, you can do whatever you can say whatever you want to say on the DMs and all that. And please respect other people's opinions, but usikuja hapa juu kusema nonsense. Because one thing you guys need to understand is that our country is bleeding. People are very hurt. And you cannot downplay the fact that people are hurting. So you coming to spread stuff here and hate and all that, and if you're told off, you someone's mic is on, and if you're told off, you just spray nonsense on the DMs, we won't allow you. You can say all you want in the DMs, ni sawa, haina shida, I won't expose your names, but I have nothing to tell you, to be honest. But I'll stand on my word, whatever I stand for, the truth. You don't even have to raise your hand once you are here. We'll just go with the line. So according to this line as we speak, we have 6,000. We have Evans, Wakili, Irungu, Okumba, Doni. We'll just go in that order.
Ayo, I wrote how I added.
Oh, you wrote some nini down?
Don't worry.
Very nice. Let's go on with your order.
Platform. Don't worry.
Very nice. Let's go on with your order.
Nikikupea mic, usinilaumu, don't hurt me. It's just the rule of the platform. It's an open mic session. Dakika ni 3. We have a lot of requests and we want to hear from everyone. So whether ni rafiki ama adui, I'm just a fair person today. Dakika ni 3. Therapist. Usi therapist ni mgonjwa. Yeye anahitaji therapist. And by the way, I'm glad Evans is here, by the way. Evans is a therapist. So he's speaking after you, 6. So leo sichezi. So 6, dakika 3.
Sasa kwanza nataka kuanza na Ayo. What is wana? Ayo, wana is a wannabe. Just say I want to put across this point. Wana is
Wenda ku drop. Unajua niko na mamlaka.
Secondly, Wanyama, I already saw a therapist. He helped me a lot. I'm now happy. But you know today, jamaa alipigwa risasi kama niko hapo. Ikatoa mdomo nikiwa hapo gari za Zuri. His face, he was picking blood with his hand. Alikuwa anashikilia damu na mkono. And I was like, damn. I almost became a liberator of this country. Sasa ningekuwa nimewekwa kwa billboard 6. Kwanza sasa hiyo angekuwa ameunda 6000 road. Ningekuwa nimewekwa hapo hiyo Dedan Kimathi tungegawana half. Imagine a liberator. So I want to say this, guys, you know, today I'm a very sad person. Why? We are keyboard warriors. Leo Ayo amekaa mahali akaniambia huyu Pipita anaandika guys. Let's go to the streets na amekaa kwa bedsit yake Rongai. Anyways.
Last Thursday nilitembea kutoka Langata Cemetery mpaka town through Nyayo nikiwa na bandage kwa mguu mzee. Nimekimbia mguu tena nikafika kwa nyumba ikaanza kuuma. Wacha wewe.
Mbona kuniambia huku nitumia message nikutumie fare?
Unajua kuna mtu amesema hapa kwa hii space that alisema hapa kwa hii space that hauwezi jua hii kitu ni real mpaka uko kwa ground. Listen to this. Ukikuwa wakati hiyo tear gas inaanguka, kuna vile venye inaanguka mpaka roho yako inaama kwenda kwa lungs one time. So imagine walikuwa wanaangusha tatu. Alafu there was a point in time I was the last person. Literally nikakaa chini. Some guy wa pikipiki akaniambia hebu ruka hapa hivi juu. Wakenya ni watu wazuri sana. Akaniambia ruka hapa hivi because mimi nilikuwa nimekaa chini nimesema sasa leo hata Faith anaweza nichukua pale hivi ndani. Faith anaweza nichukua pale hivi ndani. So mimi mkisema eti mimi ni keyboard warrior. Ni keyboard warrior because my leg is really failing me in this issue. Sitaki kukimbia hapo hivi nikuwe tena number last na naona huko nyuma ndo watu wanapigwa marisasi za mgongo bwana. So I will use whatever I have now and that is spaces. 6,000
PP, do you know 6,000? PP 6,000. Can you tell PP that last week a body was dropped next to me, like literally a bullet went through someone next to me nikirecord video zangu? That could have been me.
I'm not going to
anyway it can never
the time 2 minutes.
Anyway, Ayo, it can never be you. So I'll say this, guys, you know, well, I'm not happy. PP, first of all, is not your legs. Hit the gym, obesity, naona imeanza kushika. So guys, what I was to say is that I'm not a happy guy because people are just talking and they're not coming out. Nimekuwa na the self-proclaimed Dedan Kimathi hapo Java. And the moment he was seeing people, alikuwa police alikuwa anakimbia, anajificha huko kwa washroom. Unafikiria ni kama yeye alikuwa anakujiwa. Anyway, what next? And paid goons. Sometimes I feel like we fail ourselves as Kenyans because we always want to take advantage of each situation. And that is something that has been affecting us. Why do I say this? Look, Juzi, when people were busy tweeting here, free Osama, people took advantage and it was a follow for follow. Unaingia timeline, you want to read something important and it's follow me. Why am I following you and you don't have content? Secondly, look what the government has done. They have now paid goons to come and take advantage of the situation that is happening currently in the country. Why? Because wanataka kusafisha jina. That is just people taking advantage of the situation to discredit, to loot more. What next? What next is that we are not giving up. And if we give up right now, it means we will not get a better tomorrow. I'm fighting for those young kids in school who don't get meals every lunch hour. I schooled in a system where we used to walk home back for lunch when I was in class 7 and tulikuwa tunatembea mguu tupu. Hizo ni miaka kitambo Ayo hakuwa amezaliwa. Long time ago. And that is not what I want to my kids, that they'll be saying we can't get a decent meal in school. So that is what you are fighting for right now. I'm fighting for those unemployed human beings. Wewe wanyama tulia bwana. Those unemployed
Dakika
human
moja
beings
more.
who the president said the housing program is not about houses, it's about youth employment. Are we going to be happy kufanya kazi ya mjengo? That is not what I'm going to be proud to say my daughter went to do engineering to be mtu wa mkono being paid 500. I'm trying to fight for a country whereby people, MPs are not going to earn 1 million, while a teacher who taught that MP, who made that MP reach where he is right now, is earning 19,000 Kenya shillings and others 5,000 shillings there in Isiolo and Wajir. That is not what I want. I want a teacher to be earning a decent salary of almost 100 to 200 Gs. Somebody asitegemee loan. Look at teachers who have retired right now. Mtu anakuambia nimekuwa nikiservice loan to just build a house. That is not what I want to be happening. Anyway guys, what next? We should not give up. Wale wanasema dialogue, I don't know if dialogue is the right thing to do right now. The best thing is to come back, write a good strategy that is going to help us navigate this. What we did not come up with what we call crisis management. When you do PR, mtafunzwa hiyo crisis management and how to handle yourself during a crisis. Right now, we are in the middle of the crisis and we don't know what to do. Those people, the president has been in the middle of a crisis, and what did he do? He used round table interview. He went, became a stone face the first day, second day, withdrew the finance bill. That means he managed the crisis, managed to divide the youths into two. People came up with, people didn't have a decision. Are we going for dialogue or are we going for protest? The moment you divide a united crowd, they'll never find their footing again. It will take a very long period. So he managed to divide us. That one, he managed that crisis very well. But now we are in the middle of a crisis whereby our protests have been hijacked by paid goons. How do we manage that? That is what we should come back to the drawing board, write a strategy and say, in case there is this is what we are going to do. And the moment this is what, so just to cut short this time, kindly let's go back to the drawing board and come up with a good strategy that is not going to be violent but people friendly, so that those people who are wenye nimeona leo CBD wamebeba marungu, they'll still open their businesses but join our cause. Anyway, thank you Wanyama. Na ayo wache kusema wana.
Sawa, asante sana, and thanks for behaving as much as you might be mad as well. Evans, how are you kaka?
Wanyama poa sana. Pipita, umepona mguu?
Yes, Evans.
Are you well now? Is your leg all right? If you can hear me, Wanyama.
You are breaking, Evans. You are breaking.
Okay.
I think there is a connectivity issue.
I doubt. Is that better?
Yeah. Go ahead. Now we can hear you.
All right. Okay. Well, so just a few things. I think I want to believe that we are a society that believes that at the end of the day, the person who is on the streets, the person who is at home, the person whose business has been broken into, the person who is supporting the government, the person who is not supporting the government, all of us, at the end of the day, we want to have a good life. And so where we are at the moment, no matter which side of the aisle you are, eventually you're Kenyan. All right. Now, why do I talk of this? Because there has been this talk about criminals infiltrating this movement. Now, if you go back to how this government was formed on classism, and the campaign of the Kenya Kwanza was based on hustlers versus the dynasty. Back to the campaign was based on digital versus analog. It was based on young tax versus the old tax. So what the politicians have done over time for us is to divide us along classes. And now what the hustlers were promised is not happening. They're not getting the end of the deal of what they were promised, because they were promised that finally we are going to bridge the gap between
Ayo, can you hear Evans?
the dynasty
Evans amepotea. Anakuta.
in quotes
Evans
and
unapotea maze.
more.
Evans, can you hear me? Evans, you keep on losing you.
So what has happened? An opportunity has
Oh God.
come back. Let me drop and come back. Okay.
Evans, please request for the mic again. Once your connection is good, I'll just give you the mic and you continue. We could not hear you as well. Nona amedropishwa. Okay, request the mic again. I'll give you the mic. Next was Wakili. Wakili has been waiting for some time.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening. Napipi,
Yeah.
connect to your thing well. It's saying host has connection issues. Wakili, go ahead. Tatu.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thanks for this opportunity. Thanks for hosting the space. First, allow me to say Paula to the families of those who lost their lives during the protest, and pass a message of quick recovery to those who have been hurt or who are nursing gunshot wounds in various hospitals. I love and appreciate the resilience of Kenyans, and especially the Generation Z. This is a momentous occasion. Now, off to which way Kenya. It is unfortunate that as Kenya, the very fabric that brings us together is now being torn right in the middle, whereby we have guys who, even though we are fighting for what is right and what is beneficial to everyone, they still allow themselves to be used by politicians to paint the demos as being chaotic and unruly, and are now being used to attack and raid businesses of law-abiding citizens and even steal from them in the name of we want to make everything appear chaotic. I don't know to what end, and I don't know to whose advantage. But having said that, I want to say this, that it is unfortunate that the government appears clueless. It's also very unfortunate that we are being led by a president who feels that he is too clever for everyone, knows everything, and cannot take advice. The issue is corruption. Corruption is a big menace in the country. We cannot have a country where we have politicians whose salaries are known, attending fundraising every weekend and donating to the tune of 3 million, 20 million. We cannot have a country where CSS who were living in Syokimau 1 year, 2 years ago, buying apartment to the tune of 190, 180 million in Karen. That is outrightly corruption. So Ruto should be told in very clear terms that he has to deal with corruption. And for the protest, my advice would be at this point in time, because now it is being infiltrated, probably politicians are not taking advantage. Ego is also at play. The rivalry between the president and his deputy might also have crept in. And I think what should now be done is, as the protesters, as Generation Z, the champions of this protest, we need now to just give me a minute to land. we need to withdraw from the streets and re-strategize. And secondly, we also need to, it is high time we came up with a set of leaders. If you know nature, nature can, they say something cannot survive in a vacuum, I don't know. But at some point, leaders will automatically come up. And so, as Generation Z, as the people who are propagating for the changes, we need to bite the bullet and probably have a set of leaders, people who can give direction and give opinion and probably chart the way forward. Thank you so much, and it was grateful having an opportunity to air my opinion and my voice in the space. Thank you.
Santi sana. I think some people have dropped off, like Akot, Jerry, and Jerry might be here before I give back the mic to Peter and what is the name? Oh, Ayo has dropped off as well. Who was Irungu? Irungu, are you here?
Wanyama?
Yeah, I can hear you, Pipi. I can hear you.
Okay, I need you to rotate kidogo. I need you to rotate ndo nione wa panel. Haya, who was next? Wewe mwenye ako next wakati Wanyama is rotating from the panel, please.
Good evening. This is Ilongo. First, the team that is organizing this host, Kina Pipita, Wanyama, thanks for the good work. I participated from outside Nairobi in an area where the UDA office was burned down, the KRI office and the governor's office, there was some cosmetic burning. Yes, we did that thing last week and the other week, but also we had some some team members who are different purpose who did all that. Then this week, as of today, yesterday, there was a lot of mobilization since it's a small town. And people are paid, including the traders and all that, to oppose the peaceful demonstrators. So today, I think that's the reason where everyone withdrew from the whole thing and we never took part to it. But for you people in Nairobi, kudos for the good work you're doing. Kwanza, pole zangu kwenye wameumia. May the souls of those who have. I will say a few quick points. Number one, Ruto is the face of the enemy. He is not actually the real enemy. The real enemy is the poverty that we have and all those items which have contributed to that poverty. So the question is, even if Ruto is gone, what stops another leader of that caliber coming on? So that's a question maybe we should think about. And due to time, I'll not get into it. I will just say you can get out of the street, but you can light more fire in other situations where we are more visible. Example being, all government events, we should know them and we should participate in them, but in a protesting way. In a peaceful, but in a protesting way. Maybe having it online, and we know, for example, in the area that I am in Embu, we could know the government is doing this, the governor, the area MP, or the president himself. Then you can protest at that specific area. If it's another area, other people can go and do something there. We can also do it, we can also harass, not harass per se, but we can jam the international media and the international partners and international collaborators so that they are so much aware of whatever is happening here. But we shine light to the negative bit of it so that our leaders has also known. I believe that is part of the pressure that the made the president to give into our demands. Finally, due to time, I would say we need, as a way of having leadership, we can have an anonymous kind of leadership. Because I believe the challenge that you're having is having faces to the leaders. What if we have leaders without faces? I believe for us to act as one family. Thank you.
Okay, I see Donien. I don't know if Donien is in the building. Can you hear me? Wanyama, are you there? Allah. Okay. Who is there on the mic? Mm-hmm. Anybody who is next kwenye mic tuaonge from the pecking order you have given earlier on. I see Donien, Alkabelan, Okumba. Is any of those in the mic?
Hello, mnaweza nisikia?
Yeah, nakusikia.
Okay, me. Hello.
Let's have the lady, then the gentleman.
Okay. So, me, first of all, my sincere condolences to the families and friends ya wale washenye wamelose lives zao kwa streets. That one is so heartbreaking. Hadi sahii mi siko tu poa, yani Ruto must go. Sasa way forward, I agree kenye wase wamesema, except hiyo kukuwa na leader, cause hiyo kukosa kuwa na leader inatusaidia kukosa mtu wa kucompromise. Hawezi katu compromise na hawezi katu, inatusaidia in a number of ways And then kitu ingine tunaweza kaangalia, sijui kama mtaagree na mimi, ni we occupy the economy, cause ni kama hiyo economy ndio inaleta issues zote. Tukiwa free economically tunaweza kuwa free hata politically. Ama juu nikiangalia ile list ya zile imports zinakujanga Kenya, ni vitu tunaweza fanya na tunaweza saidia.
Continue. Ala, nimemute watu. Kuna mtu ako na control ya kipenga hapa na sio mimi.
Okay, so nilikuwa nasema tunaweza occupy economy maybe kama bado tuna tone down on hii historia ya kuprotest since magoons wamekuja kutuinfiltrate. Tunaweza occupy areas kama kutengeneza essential oils, tusaidia hao ma GenZs. Unaona, as in vitu hizi ni vitu tunaweza fanya. Me, I believe ni vitu tunaweza fanya. Tunaweza share knowledge. I have the knowledge, I can share with anyone mwenye anataka. Vitu kama kutengeneza essential oils, ceramic products, hizi si vitu zenye tunafaa kuimport. Na kwa nini nasema hivyo ni juu unapata umework hard a whole day, umepata so tano, alafu unaenda kupatia mchina ndio upate toothpick. Unaona, as in tunafaa tu kujua pali pesa yetu inaenda kabisa kabisa, na tu occupy kila area. Juu unapata vitu kama chai bado tuna import $21 million imetumika last year kuimport coffee, tea. Hizo ni vitu pia sisi kama mayouth tunafaa kuangalia na tuweze kuoccupy economy. Kama kuna wase wenye wako na mimi, sijui tunaweza kaungana aje to strategize na to occupy. Those are my 2 cents.
All right, thank you. The next gentleman, we are trying to repossess the space. I currently can't see anything, so I'm trying to reconnect the space from Kinawanyama, and then we'll continue. But kulikuwa na jamaa alikuwa next up, endelea.
Host. Me, I've been in this movement, especially as a field marshal, to occupy our country. But one thing Ruto need to know that is not asiturudishe kwa koloni, because Ruto is trying to return us to a colonial government. Reason being, it's the same way the kings used to sell Africans. African kings used to sell Africans for a piece of mirror. So, mi kitu naweza waambia, tuwe leaderless, hiyo imetusaidia. The moment utatokea kuwa at the leader of Gen Z, I'm telling you, you will not see 2 weeks. That guy is merciless. Thank you. Thank you, host. Next speaker, kindly.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dominic. Na first off, I think ningetaka kwanza first to thank Pipita, Wanyama, Ayo, even for creating these spaces and just giving everyone...
Is there anybody speaking?
Yes, there is. Kuna mtu anaongea.
Oh boy, we are losing control of the space.
Yes, people, there's someone speaking. If you can hear me, there's someone speaking.
There's someone...
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think I am back. Pipi, can you hear me?
Who's that? Who is speaking?
Dominic.
Tomaso?
Dominic.
Wait, this is Wanyama. Pipi, can you hear me? I think this something weird is fine.
This is Dominic who was speaking.
Pipi, can you hear me?
Unmute them, jamani. Oh my God. Wanyama.
Yeah, hata mimi nimepata
Unmute
sasa.
them, free them.
Imerudi. Nimemute. So Pipi, mimi nimekubali kuna maneno
Yes.
yanafanyika kwa spaces, acha
We
niendelee.
are at world's end right now on with the spaces. If you can hear me, I don't know if there is somebody who's speaking on the other side, but I can't see anybody on the space. Yeah. So I don't know what is the way forward here, because I have to get off Wanyama first from the co-host and then recycle him back, so that I can get back the control of the space. But basically, we still have time. We still have time. We're gonna be back here again right now. We're good. We're good now. We're good. Wanyama has finally been freed. So Wakili, do you have something?
Yeah, people, there's an NIS person on your space called Shali Law. This lady called Shali Law, she's a spy of the government, and she's on your space. So please, we know her. I just wanted to mention it loud so that she knows that we know her. She's an NIS person.
Okay, we have noted that one. Abdallah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you?
Okay, kwanza asanteni sana kutupa nafasi kujieleza na kuzungumza na ndugu zetu hapa Kenya na nchi nzima na popote pale walipo. I want to say that we are proud of the new generation that is fighting for the liberation of our country. Some of us participated in the liberation in 1992 tukiwa shuleni. I was informed to, by the way, and so you encourage me and you make me remember our first fight when we were fighting for the second liberation, which now we have. We have the constitution, we have the multi-party, but unfortunately it has not served our country well. One thing I want to say is that the day we will stop fighting in this revolution is the day it will die. So I encourage all of us to continue fighting and pushing. And second thing that I want us to know is that this fight is not again about William Ruto or somebody else. This fight is about impunity and corruption. Wanton corruption that has made our people poorer, the corruption that has caused no medicine in our schools, no facilities in our schools, and no facilities in our universities. I mean, if you go to the University of Nairobi, you'll realize that is not a first-class university that we would want our children to go to. That's why we are still sending our children to South Africa, to Europe. So our money must speak for us and work for us. And the corruption in this country has made it not possible for that to happen. And that's what you guys are fighting for. And the whole country must rally behind you for this fight. I want also to say that the way forward is that we have two choices. Either we continue fighting on the streets and they continue shooting our people, or we change tack. You know, we did that our time and you are doing it now, but we can change tack. And the tack we can try is that can we announce to the nation that we are going to have a sit home? We boycott coming to the workplace, we boycott coming to the cities, we boycott everything, and people sit at home for 1 month until the president goes home with all his, all his takataka and all the parliament and everything. People go home and we start afresh. We can do that. but we try and see if it can work. If it doesn't work, then we return back to the streets. And I believe these 4 point something million people, or 500,000 people are listening to us now. They can send this information to everybody at home that we are saying, in to avoid looting and killing, then we stay home. It has worked for other countries. It can also work for Kenya, so that we avoid the bloodshed. Because these people, the only thing they can do is to kill our people, to scare us and steal from the business community, so that we look bad, when actually no youth is stealing. Those Gen Zs and everybody on the street, then nobody want to steal, nobody want to harm anyone, but it's the police throwing guns and bullets and tear gas against us, and the people who have been hired to come and harass the business community, so that our people look bad. So I suggest we can try another way, where we call everybody to sit home. Na ukionekana unakuja town, basi wewe ni mtu utaki mageuzi, na then we can greet you the way youths have been greeting people. So those are the only things I have. And finally, I could say by closing that let us change our mindset. If we want to change this country, we also need to change our mindset. One thing, tuache kukula pesa hizi ndogo ndogo za wanasiasa wanakuja na shilingi 200 and then they bribe us and then we vote them. This time round, whether it is now or in 2027, let's vote people who are going to tell us what they are going to do, not how much they are going to give us. They tell us what they're going to do, we agree with their policies, and we vote them in. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you for that. I've recovered the space, but you'll have to request. So if you had earlier on requested the space, I have over 300 requests, but I can't see none of them. So please request the microphone, and I can, so that I can also talk to you. Dominic, you're rushing to the mic. What's up?
Salama sana, habari yako?
Niko vizuri?
Hope the leg is doing better.
Yes. Sasa niko better.
Well, I think I'd like to first start by thanking you, Ayo, Wamai, and everyone else who's been putting out spaces all over, because I don't think anybody had actually thought for a minute that digital spaces can be used to create a revolution such as the one that we have right now. But having said that, I think I'd also want to start off with condolences kwa kila mtu ambaye amelose a loved one, a brother, a sister, a friend, and even those who are still recovering in the hospitals. Tuna wish quick recovery. And I will also begin by saying, personally, I am a millennial. I will not try and pride myself as a Gen Z. And I think I may speak as many other millennials who may be here. I'm one of those millennials who, at the beginning of this thing, were very skeptical about what exactly was going on, besides the clear element of the fact that Lukotuna reject finance bill. But then there comes a time in every discussion when tunaanza kuangalia back, una realize every single thing in happen in the present and in the coming future ni a repetition of the past. And the reason why nasema hivyo ni ati there's a guy who spoke earlier, I think I'll go to Victor. He said one thing that I agreed with is that for us to reach where we are right now, it is because some people at power or some people in power somewhere know the DNA of Kenyans. And the DNA of Kenyans is that we are humongously divided in whatever it is that we ever want in any given time. Hardly will you ever walk into a space and find two Kenyans who can agree on some of the most crucial things pamoja. Everybody always wants to skip to their side. And one of the things that does is that utaangalia uone kuna wale watu wanajitenga anaangalia, yes, kila mtu anaafektiwa ni finance bill, yes, kila mtu anaafektiwa ni corruption na nini, but when it comes to ile time watu wana need kuongea, either wengine wanajieka kando, inakani kama it is no longer their problem, and while the others are running forward, when they start getting hit back, you come back and start telling them, si tuliwaambia mwache kukimbia, mliko mnaenda wapi? This thing never changes. And I think until we are able to look at that particularly, then we will have a very hard time to move forward. I think for me, what I will say as a way forward is probably divided in three, and I hope my 1 minute and nimebaki itanitosha. I think the first thing I'll say is, or the only thing that I'll say majorly is, we need a sustainability ya hii revolution. It needs a sustainability plan yenye, yes, Ruto must go, but Ruto is not just the person himself, it is the administration, it is the impunity and every single thing in inaenda wrong. And I believe tukianzia from spaces like one, IBC reconstruction, looking at how that can be placed up. Number two, looking at civil education yenye Wamai alikuwa anaongelea, because the truth is this, wazazi wetu, millennials zao wengine, Gen X zao wengine, wote wanaona exactly what is happening. But kila mtu amekaa chini mahali ni kama this is not affecting them. Until we find a time when we can go back and have our parents buy into this same plan, this same idea, this same analogy, just like us, then we'll make the revolution even bigger. The final thing nitasema ni nitataka kukumbusha kitu ili happen in the States. I've never been to the States, but I'll talk about this by virtual of reading. I remember when Biden and Trump war was starting and Trump was being thrown out. One of the things that happened very largely with the black community is that they realized they needed to go back to the roots and go back to every single person and remind them why it is they needed to vote. Na I think hapo ndipo tunafaa kuanza, whether ni story na ABC, turudi kwa ground kwa kila mtu understand kwa nini tuna need ABC, kwa nini tuna need education, kwa nini tuna need more voters, kwa nini tuna need all that. But when it comes to the protest, I think right now, tushaonesha ase plan yetu, ase wame do this thing larger and longer than us. They've been evading every single thing longer than us from one administration to the other. So I think at this point in time, protest yetu isha compromisewa. But tukifind a different way ya kuanza kurudi back to the people, then tutaweza kuona mbele. As I started, Peter, you're doing an amazing job, and Ayo and Wamai and Wanyama, sorry, and kudos to you guys and cheers. And I think you guys are better leaders than anything else that we could honestly have. Shukran.
Okay, thank you for that submission. I'm going to move to new sets of speakers. I don't know. I actually did not know who and who spoke. I know Irungu spoke, Dominic has spoken, and Tomaso. So if you have spoken, kindly drop. And also, if you want to get into the microphone, kindly request the microphone. Let me play the jingle for the show because I've been having issues with the network.
This is the home run with PP.
If it's your first time here, this is Home Run with PP. It happens here every Monday to Friday from 4 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. East African time. On these spaces, we talk about various social issues that affect us. And on Mondays, we talk about investments. Tuesdays, we talk about state of the nation and politics. Wednesdays, we talk about trending topics. Thursdays, we talk about your health. And Friday, we talk about relationships. So do find time to join us also some other time as well. Msitoroke after mambo ya finance bill. Anyway, that said and done, Home Run with PP has always been supported by you, the listener. Pale hivi juu kwenye topic line, there's a number that if you like what we are doing, with the message that we are getting out there as well, you can always support by keeping the lights on these studios by sending a tip pale kwa hiyo number. Thank you so much for those who have sent something. Wengine wamesema nisiwataje majina, but thank you for your support hapo hivi kwenye tipja. Now, having said that, we would like to keep this conversation going for as long as possible. For those who I can see their requests, I'm going to be accepting them, and then we are going to continue this conversation for as long as people can talk. So don't worry about me ending the space at 9 p.m. As usual. So yeah, having said that, how are you doing, LL? LL, are you there? Okay.
Hello.
If LL is yes,
Hello.
how are you doing? Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. That's LL talking?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, talk to me.
Good evening, guys. So I'm kind of nervous. It's my first time speaking here. But I'd say it's really sad our president is not connecting with us. And it's just not really good. And we shouldn't stop. Nothing is stopping us, but we need to find a way on how our law can help us to find a peaceful protest. Is there a way we can find a way to maneuver and find a way we can find a peaceful protest? Because it's really really sad. So what a way forward is just finding that, and we just don't need to relent. And millennials, we need your help. We really need help, support, and everything. All the thing we can do, because this is bigger than every one of us. Thank you.
Hey guys.
How are you doing, Mr. Madagascar? There's a line, so just a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah. So, Tomaso, had you spoken? Just a minute, Madagascar. Mute your mic. There's a line here. Tomaso, had you spoken? Okay. Okay. Let me reset the mic. Let me reset the mic with the people that have spoken first. Irungu has spoken. Alkebula, Anito Ijina Ningumu, Alkebula and Songbird. Have you spoken? Okay. Now that we have rotated the mic a bit, if you have been removed bahati mbaya, wakili alikuwa ameongea Jamanyata.
I want to say sorry for those guys who lost their family.
Yes, we are listening.
We have a very corrupt government, and we should get rid of it. In fact, Ruto must go. And another thing, I'm very happy with the GenZs, because nobody was willing to protest. If it's not the GenZs, everybody was quiet. It is only some Azimio leaders that were like, we were saying we are planning, we will do some mandamano, but they didn't show on. They didn't show off. So I'm very happy with the agencies. Go on, let the spirit burn. Let us burn. In fact, we are ready for everything. So I want to thank you. This is the only platform that we have to fight this government. Thank you so much. Let us continue Thursday. We'll find you there. Thank you so much.
Asante David for that. Yeah. Mr. Madagascar, what do you have to say?
So hi guys.
Hi.
I'm really happy with the conversation going on. The GenZs are working and they are doing very well to this economy of Kenya, because I think for a long time you've been taken for granted, and for them to come up like that, congratulations. Secondly, I'd like to also offer my condolences to the people that have passed on. The GenZs it's so sad, but it's commonly known that when you're in the battle, obviously there are some people who will lose their life so that to attain that freedom. The third thing is that about the way forward now is that as you can see, we have been compromised. Ruto is a very clever person. That guy is a very clever person. So definitely the guy has compromised us. And the best thing to do is sit back, strategize, and see what is the way forward. Because all in all, this turns back to us, and everyone will be like, the GenZs are stealing, the GenZs this, because he's trying to sanitize himself. And through this, the best way is if we can just sit back, strategize, and see how we can get a way forward on this. But kudos to all you guys, the Gen Zs, with the work that you're doing. It's very impressive. Keep on with the spirit. Tuanike hao watu with all the corruption that they are doing and everything that they are doing in the government. To see, let the spirit not die. Let's keep pushing because I know one day we will get that freedom that we want. So thank you guys and keep on pushing.
Okay. We have a comment here. I've received over 1,100 comments. So let me first of all mute guys. Shamaliza kuongea unaenda kwa listener. Alafu guys, and if you had requested the mic earlier, kuna mtu ako na mic yake open and I need to teach him some lesson. If you are Dani Walis request microphone. If you're joining us, we have been talking about which way Kenya. We have had allegations of goons infiltrating the Maandamano and also leading people to destruction of business properties, and there has been a very big undertone of the politicians funding these people to go out there and cause issues. Naona Daniel anasema kwamba structure is also important in any movement. I hear a lot of talk on these spaces, but I don't know what really comes out of them. A lot of who's this calling me? Hey, no, ananipigia mpaka through nani? Why? Good. Let me just read that. Watu wananipigia hadi masimu za WhatsApp. Confirm you can hear me, Melvin.
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay, let me read this comment and then I'll bring you on. Wanasema kwamba structure is also important. Mute. Ndo tusikuwe na feedback. Nasema kwamba structure, y'all. For example, do you take notes of what people are proposing? Ama it stops at 2 to 3 minutes, time is up. Speak on the mic. Integrate all Gen Z social media platforms so that this it's not seen as an X-only movement. Mobilize a cohesive and synchronized TikTok, IG, YouTube movement as only a minority of Gen Zs are active on X. For example, it's very easy to divide Gen Zs as they are right now because they are not speaking in one voice. One narrative that has already successfully been sold to the masses is that Gen Zs on the streets are entitled and privileged kids who can afford to be on an X space. Anasema, remember the Uber iPhone KFC narrative that was peddled by one Kimani Ichung'wah. All right. This was targeted at Gen Zs in lower income settlements who probably feel disconnected from y'all, and hence it's easier to buy them off to scatter your movement. We saw that strategy at play today. Why is this guy calling me, man? Why don't you get the... I'm going to block him. Block him right now. Good. Block. What are you trying to do? Trying to fold my space? Hey. Higher. Let me finish that one last part. The only way you will win this thing is through your smarts. This Gava is well versed in divisionary and forceful tactics. Use your smarts and technology. That's what you are going for, y'all. I'm a Gen X and we've been here before with a similar despot. I like that this movement is leaderless, but it doesn't have to look like directionless. Optics are very important in any successful movement. Please try to be as inclusive as possible and not shun advice from others who also have a voice. When you use the pronouns we and our, has this passed the public participation procedure for all Gen Z? Ama who included in these pronouns? Again, this is Gen X input, take it or leave it. Yeah, so she's saying kwamba, like, we need to be, to be structured. We have to plan. People have had a different input here. Yeah. But what do you guys feel? I see Melvin ako hapa, Hailin na Wakili. I'll hear from them. You can request the microphone. I'll definitely throw you the mic if I see you. Aya, Melvin.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm good, labda nyinyi.
Salama kabisa.
Okay. First of all, my condolences to everyone who has lost someone in the battle. I know it's tough. We too have lost people, but we keep pressing on. So my take on this is the reason why the government is gaining on us, like the reason why this movement is being taken over is because we are not adapting quick enough. We are protesting the same way our fathers protested from back in the day. I think it's time we take, our technology, we use different tactics, like the way GenZs mobilize the dress code for the day. Maybe we could try something different. Instead of having vuvuzelas and whistles, we could try having placards and doing it in silence for once. That way, maybe goons won't have a place to penetrate. Because I think once we change the whole take, the way we do it, then maybe we'll have a better effect on the whole situation. That is my thought on the whole thing.
All right. Thank you for that, Melvin. Naona onani ako hapa hivi. Helen. I think it's Helen.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for the opportunity. And condolences to the fallen soldiers. I had some few questions to put across. The first question was, how can you use the same system that is not working to deconstruct the same IBC to be working on the next election, and we think that it will be on our favor? The next is, how can we talk about the progress, yet we are having some issues, like now the goons have entered into the all movement, and there's no real, the movement is interrupted. Can we just focus on how we are going to deal with the goons and how the movement will continue, so that at least after we overcome that is when you can talk about moving forward from there? Those are my questions, and if we can answer that, I think we'll be on a good way to the movement, and everything will be okay. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you for that as well. For asking those pertinent questions. Nilikuwa nimeona poet Willy Oeba hapa hivi. Kwani ameenda wapi? Mzee Oeba. If you can hear me or request the mic again, I would appreciate to have you here. One of those vocal artists that started this revolution in buses before we even started speaking against it. I see we have Wakili. Talk to us.
Hi, Pipi.
Hi.
Hi. Allow me to make 3 points. As guys who are hell bent on exactly ensuring that this cause is fought to the bitter end, we must now have clarity of thought and ensure that we have key information on what we need to be delivered. President Ruto has requested to meet Kenyans or Generation Z through a space. I think that is still fine, as much as some people are against it, but it's still in order. But it has to be categorically told on exactly what we as a people need to be achieved. There is a young man who recorded himself delivering a typical presidential speech, and wanted, in such a situation, mentioned how he would handle the situation. And I think those are the kind of the conversation that we should now put on the front line. One, we want to demand that the entire cabinet, if President Ruto has to survive an extra day in office, he has to also dismiss the numerous staff who are working in State House who are doing a lot of nothing. People like Kitumbi who are busy vomiting on us, on our shoes, after eating our taxes without well-known roles or clear positions they hold should either be sent packing or be given proper jobs that we can know and hold them accountable to. But it's not going to just be a busy person in State House together with these very many boys loitering up and about, eating our taxes and doing a lot of nothing and talking bullshit. So the State House budget has also to be slashed. Then even as the president says that we are going to have austerity measure to reduce the government budget from the 4 point something to 3 point something. I still believe that the government budget can be funded by less than 3 trillion. I have taken time to go through that budget, and more than a third of it is budgeted corruption. If we are sincere as a people, we can still run the country by less than 3 trillion, by whatever KRA is collecting as tax. Because following what President Ruto was saying during the interview, that we are going to borrow 1 trillion because the finance bill has been shut down, but at the same time saying he doesn't have money to confirm JSS teachers or to hire intern doctors, that is a lie. That was put in that budget. If he's going to borrow 1 trillion inclusive of the amount that was shut down via the finance bill, then he has no reason not to hire JSS teachers on permanent and pensionable basis and hire more teachers on internship and even post the doctors on intern. As a nation, we must be very clear on our expectations. We are not going to be a country where politicians rule over us and lord over us and live lives of luxury, yet thousands and millions are suffering. We must have proper health care, and the health care has to start by intern doctors being posted at CBL terms. JSS teachers must be posted on permanent and pensionable terms. Our youths must be given jobs, and not only jobs. Like I was seeing, the CS board told us to register at National Employment Authority. You see the jobs there for housekeepers, maids in the Middle East. We did not go to school to study engineering from JQuat or law from wherever or medicine from wherever, and then they want to send us to Middle East to go and be maids. We are better than that, and we must have some standard. And we are not going to allow Ruto continue telling us that he's created thousands of jobs outside when those jobs are only maids and housekeepers. So even as much as he says he's created thousands of jobs, I think we need to hold him accountable and ask him which jobs. He keeps telling us that 4,000 people are working in affordable housing program, and he's created 160,000 jobs. You should ask him which jobs. We are not going to allow ourselves, graduates and people who are learned, to be subjected to jobs like you are boyfundi, and then he proudly comes on national television and that is created jobs. Then another thing, when the government says that they are going to practice austerity measure, it has to be like the budget that is going to be revised. As a people, I think that budget must reflect the reality. Let them cut the budget, but let them give us at least things that systems that are working. You know something that Kenyans are failing to understand is that the prices of things have been going up day by day. Even passport, to get a new passport, initially it was 4,500. I don't know how now what it is, but the amount went to 7,500. Renewing your ID if you lose it is 1,000. So many, even the cost of driving on the expressway went high because the Kipchuma Murkomen said that the cost of the dollar to the shilling had gone up. Yet now the shilling has strengthened, but the cost of the expressway is still high. So if systems were working at a lower cost, they should work even at a higher cost. University education at the moment it is cheaper to even go and study abroad than study in the University of Nairobi. You study in any university in Kenya. You get a calling letter, an admission letter that you're going to do Bachelor of Education with IT, and then you are paying 170,000 or 200,000. Yet 2 years ago, the same course was being done at 30,000. And Ruto is busy telling us that he is fixing the nation. He's taxing us more, borrowing more, but telling us that he is fixing the nation. So even as he comes to have a conversation with us on no matter what platform, or even if his informers are on this platform, we want to categorically tell him that we know what we want and we are not going to settle for anything less than what you want. And if it does not come and agree to handle our issues and our grievances, then this battle is not going to go down. We are in this for a very long time. We are ready to occupy the streets. We are ready to do what it takes, and we'll call out when the goons infiltrate the demonstrations. We'll call out when the goons are paid. And what we are also telling him, that a time will come when those goods were paid. We'll also say enough is enough. We have eaten your money for long. You've messed up the country. We are also tired. Please reform the country. So, people, I want to urge us to push. But even as we push, let us have clarity of the exact matters that we want handled, so that we know when we after the rejection of the finance bill, the next conversation is fighting this, and the next conversation is delivering of services and making the systems work, both to the benefit of myself and to all the other Kenyans, not only to a few who then come and vomit on us. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for that, Wakili. I see Willie Oeba is here with us. How are you doing, Willie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine, King.
Okay. Can I put on my submission?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, bro.
Thank you. First of all, my condolences to all the lost souls and the bereaved families and everyone who is recuperating right now at the hospital. May God be with you. William Ruto is a chronic liar. And on Sunday, he reiterated one of his lies, that education is the biggest equalizer. I mean, maybe in other countries, but not in Kenya. In Kenya, education now is bare minimum, because you'll find even for manual labor, everyone has a degree. In Kenya right now, people have degrees. People have 2 degrees, but people don't have jobs. And again, Ruto said something that I believed, surprisingly, on Sunday, that affordable housing is not about housing. It's not about giving people houses. It's about giving the youths mjengo jobs. And that is true, but what affordable houses is trying to do, it's the gentrification of Nairobi city. They're building cities that are too much expensive for the poor to live in. For example, you are taxed for the housing levy. Where you used to live is demolished. For example, they demolished houses at the railway houses where people used to pay 2,500 for a 2-bedroom or 3,000 for a 2-bedroom. So they are demolished, and you're paying the housing levy. And then these houses are built, and then they are bought by people who have money, and then they are rented out for 30, 40,000 per month. And then also, I think what Ruto really cares about is the profile of this country. And he said that during the interview. And he's such a narcissist because he wants people out there to perceive him